Okay, so you're wondering yourself, why were all those people on the highway when they could peacefully protest on the streets? So the answer to that is when you disrupt symbols or constructs that are emblematic of capitalism or kind of elitism, and when you interrupt that, you're not destroying it. It's not a cancellation of highways. We're not deleting highways from the country's infrastructure. How dare we? But we're just interrupting it. And so what the poetry to it and kind of just the basic function of it is when elected officials, law enforcement, and the city's human infrastructure interrupts the mortality of people, we interrupt the schedule of people. We're not killing anybody. I mean, we're not destroying your life. There's nothing you're not dying. I mean, that's the whole point. So that's one function. The second one is I can give you as much information right now about what is going on in said country or said city or said neighborhood to said people, and that it's an absolute atrocity, and it's a crime against humanity. It's illegal, and you could say, oh wow, it's a bummer. However, if I stand in front of your car when you got somewhere to quote unquote be, and I tell you, hey, people are dying out here, you need to do something about it. Oh, now you're gonna listen, because people get tacitly complicit with the day-to-day. And when it gets interrupted, that's when they see it. That's when they hear about it. That's when people, as we say, shut shit down, then folks then start paying attention to it. And that is the spirit and the soul of protest, is to interrupt the day-to-day, to interrupt the norm of what people are used to. And that norm and that day-to-day is a luxury in and of itself. Somebody messaged and said, you're protesting on the highway, that's not peaceful. We peacefully walked on the highway. We interrupted the highway. Some folks, they had to turn around or get off an exit, and they had to go the other way. What a luxury. What an absolute luxury to have a car and be able to drive it somewhere else. You're not 6 feet in the ground. You're not attending a funeral for your loved one who was killed by the Minneapolis Police Department or the St. Paul Police Department. I mean, St. Paul Police, 11th most lethal police force in the country out of 2,000. So, let's not get that twisted. And you're not being falsely accused of anything or profiled or racially profiled or experiencing some of the nation's highest racial disparities in education, employment, and law enforcement as a person of color. You're not experiencing that. You're in a car, so, and you can get, and maybe you are a person of color in the car, and all you have to do is reroute. You should be so lucky. You should be so lucky to be driving a car on the road. And what we're saying is you are lucky, and you have time and you have the energy to stand up for stolen lives. And you have the time and energy to stand up against injustice, against an election that's trying to get stolen by just I guess what you could say is a better funded dictator. And so that's what the protest is. And if you should also ask yourself, why do people feel they have to go onto a highway to be heard in the first place? Wouldn't be on the highway if we were being heard in the first place. That's the end summation of what that is. Why are you was it Harry Belafonte that said, you shouldn't shame unhoused folks. You should shame a society that creates a situation that has unhoused folks. The infrastructure that we live and work in has failed us, and it's turned people to encampments. It's turned black men into deer that cops hunt year-round. It's turned some of the most vulnerable citizens in the city to be treated less than human, and it's not right. And folks are going to stand up for that continually until it is right, until there is justice, until the city reflects what they want it to be. So that's why we took to the highway, and that's why you're talking about it, because we were on the highway. If we took a street, it's a mild inconvenience. Create a big old inconvenience, because y'all are creating a big old inconvenience in people's lives. I guess the base, like the most simple way of putting it is, yeah, we're interrupting your drive, but nobody's interrupting your life, you know. So we're until God, this dude put it the best. He said, until cops stop spilling blood in the streets, we're gonna keep marching in the streets. So that's kind of what it is. And if the streets don't say enough, then taking to a highway will. So that's why we march on the highway, and you can probably argue that until your face gets blue, or you know, you just get tired of typing, which I'm most likely going to get some of the comments below there. But that's how the logic spells out, is that you have to take it to the streets until people hear you. So ask yourself, why are people going onto a highway just to be heard? And this has historically been done. You've seen it done in many places with different caravans, different setups. People get creative with it. All in all, it was peaceful. Nobody attacked anybody. I mean, nobody attacked any law enforcement, not from what I saw. Law enforcement did show up, and they escalated the situation. They brutalized some people in the apartments above the joint. So that's on them. But yeah, we peacefully protested, and that was that. So you can join next time and see it for yourself. All right, see you in the next video.